Hi, and thank you for watching this episode of the GFM Talk. Today we're going to be looking at how assessment and feedback is used in skills-based subjects. It came about last term during some of the Sims learning walks, where we went into some of the art and technology classes and saw some really positive feedback in terms of how they were giving whole class feedback at times to individual students, that they understood how they were progressing in terms of their work, the skills that they were building and scaffolding on to improve, and then how they could eventually master the particular skill that they were working on at that time. Through conversations with the teachers, it then became evident that the use of the pre-produced stickers were adaptive in terms of the feedback that they gave, and how they could then be targeted based on previous misconceptions that may have been identified by the teachers to be able to address what regularly happens within the classroom. From that conversation with Mr. Walker and Mrs. Law, further conversations are then had with Mr. Waite, again going around on a learning walk. We happened to start talking about how you give feedback and also assess some of the specific skills and tasks that they're doing, as opposed to it being a holistic assessment at the end, where we then started to discuss the framework that was used for the assessment. It became quite clear from these conversations and from what we saw in the classroom that this was a really good form of teaching practice that we thought we should share with the whole of the GFM. So I'd like to thank Natalie Law and Greg Waits for having produced these videos, and we're currently going to start looking at how the assessment and feedback is given in art and then in technology.
In arts, we value the importance of verbal feedback throughout lessons. We are aware of the need for broad questioning to encourage young people to have the confidence to reflect and be articulate about their thoughts, thinkings and feelings, as well as their processes throughout their learning journey. These skills of critical thinking, analysing and reflection will not only make them better artists, but also have a positive influence on their own success within other areas of the curriculum. The verbal feedback we use throughout lessons can help and support students to let them know how they're getting on within their artwork. These are there to support and to develop the outcome. Constructive criticism can help students assess where they went wrong, how they can fix it. By using general language like "that looks great" or "it's not done yet," gives the students almost no information about what they are learning. We will describe to them the specific parts of their work or skills for which are needing feedback. We promote the ethos of the more artwork you create and the more you become confident, the more you will be able to see the problems and have the stronger confidence to fix these problems using your own skill set developed throughout the process. And the more problems you fix, the better your paintings and designs will be. The purpose of feedback in assessment and learning process for us within art is to improve a student's performance, not to suppress it. It is essential that the process of providing feedback, albeit verbal or whole class feedback, is a positive or at least a neutral learning experience for the students. As you can see on the slide in front of you, each student will get a whole class feedback. This is used on 3 levels, where we will use language like excellent use of, or good first attempt, or try next time. The aim of this feedback is to ensure that they know where they have met the learning objective and how they can develop and move on next time. And ending with something positive, again creating that positive experience and celebrating all successes gained. In arts, we value the importance of verbal feedback throughout the lesson. We are aware of the need of broad questioning to encourage young people to be able to be reflective and articulate about their thoughts and their processes. These skills of critical thinking, analysing and reflection will not only make them better artists, but will also have a positive influence on their success across other areas of the curriculum. Verbal feedback can let students know how well they're getting on with their artwork and what they need to do to improve. Constructive criticism can help a student assess where they went wrong and how they need to fix it. Using general language like, "that looks great."
An issue we have in subjects like art and CDT is that much of the skills and knowledge that we are assessing is ongoing in class and may not always be immediately apparent through a student's final outcome. Also, without the right guidance and structuring, it can be very easy for a student to focus on the doing of the final outcome rather than the learning journey that they are on. We try to address this in both our subjects by having a clear progressive set of assessment criteria that we focus on in all lessons. Here we can see how art uses a sequence of statements that the students must progress through and can be evaluated by their teacher, their peers, or by themselves quickly in a live manner during the lessons. The students always have access to these criteria and all marking is focused on addressing these. In CDT, you can see that we have chosen to break our criteria down using the National Curriculum Assessment Objectives. I appreciate these do not fit with all subjects, but for CDT they directly link to the assessment that we have to undertake in all of our range of Key Stage 4 subjects. For each assessment objective, we've developed a set of progressive statements that allow a student to easily see the next steps they will have to take to move further up the grades. We've also, within each grade, given a score so that we can, for the purposes of our school reporting, easily generate a raw mark for that student. Here we can see how we use the information from our trackers for data analysis. You can see that each assessment objective has a different weighting, and this will reflect in each student having a very different grade profile. We take the scores for each assessment objective and use a weighted formula to create a current level of performance and tie this in with a flight path that we can use to create what we consider to be a fairly accurate professional predicted grade for each data drop. Here we can see that this student has a very clear strength in one area of the assessment objectives, their making skills, but really struggles to reflect on their own effectiveness and developing ways of testing their final outcomes. They also have quite a good strength in presenting and developing their design ideas, so we can see there's a very clear area of focus for the student if they are to achieve the grade that they're hopeful for at the end of the course. By using assessment criteria and data in a very structured and consistent way, we are able to gather and present useful live data to students at all times during lessons. Here we have a snapshot of 3 students in Year 11 CDT, where we still have a large NEA element as well as a final exam. The top screenshot shows the project as it is progressing using a ragging for each piece based on their target grade. In the final column you can see a bright yellow rolling grade. This starts as a U in the first lesson and slowly moves up throughout the course and includes their NEA and the latest exam practice that they have completed. We also have taken the time to look at the exams over time and have mapped what areas of the specification each section addresses. By doing this, we are also able to break down the exam mark by question when recording it. By identifying the areas of the specification each section focuses on, we're able to provide detailed bespoke revision plans for each student. We use Form Mule in Google Sheets to create a mail merge from the tracker that presents each student with a list of their topics and the marks within each one so they're able to carefully plan and prioritise their revision.
Many thanks for watching the GFM talk. I hope you found it very interesting. We certainly did. And if you'd like to find out more information about it, please talk to one of the school improvement managers, or alternatively, just go direct to Mrs. Law and Mr. Waits, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to discuss what they are using within their classrooms and potentially share this positive teaching practice with you guys too. Thank you.